Pretty close fight thus far, Dwayne. Good exchange there. Turner throwing the right hand, got a left
How did
in
you
there.
start boxing? What got you into boxing?
Well, I first started boxing when I was growing up in Coney Island. I got into a couple of scraps with a couple of guys down there, and I had very good hands, very quick. And then I started sparring with everybody in the neighborhood, and they were actually bringing guys down there to where I lived to spar with me. Then in 1971, I went to the PAL and met Joe LaGuardia. And at that time, Vito Antifermo was there. He just got there. And that's when I got into organized boxing, where I was learning how to really fight the right way, and they turned me around. I was fighting southpaw when I first started. They turned me to righty because they didn't like southpaws in those days. But I learned a lot in the amateurs. I had a great 4 years in the amateurs. Lost in the finals, Dominic Monaco. I fought him in 72 in the quarters and beat him. Then he was very upset, so we wanted to have a smoker fight. Joe LaGuardia used to run smokers in the churches. I fight him again, I beat him again. Now we go to Ireland to fight the Irish, me and Dominic, on the United States boxing team. We did very well there. We both won. And then we came back to New York. We both went the gloves. So everybody says, just give Turner the gloves. He's got Dominic's number, which I believe myself. So I got 1973, we get in the gloves, and we're in the finals. I'll win the fight, but it was close. And it was coming to the first round was close. Second round, he beat me. Third round, I finally woke up, and I almost stopped him. In split decision, he won. The gloves. I was so upset, because that's what I really wanted. And it's every time I see him, I get around him, because he actually has 2 golden gloves. He won, I think, 2 years before that. And we had a great time in Ireland. Went to Ireland together. We stayed in the same room. And because people say to me, "You stay in the same room and you fought?" I said, "Yeah, we're friends. That's how boxers are. We always got along, and till this day I see each other. We see each other, we hug, and I love him. A good guy."
What were the overseas experiences like? What was it going to another country as a young kid?
Yeah, because I never went nowhere. I never traveled. And actually, the first time I was on a plane. I went to Ireland to fight the Irish. And it was a nice experience. The place was beautiful. The people there were so nice and friendly, and they couldn't do enough for you. And I remember every time we went anywhere we went, they couldn't do enough for you. They were just such great people. And we really enjoyed ourselves. The land there is beautiful. And it was a great experience for me. I never did anything, never went anywhere. I was the baby of 7 kids, so we never had no money to go anywhere. That was my first time I ever went on a plane, and first time I went on like a vacation. We went to Puerto Rico with Wild Man Alexander, who I fought 3 times, and I got pictures of him sleeping on my shoulder. Everybody got along. Eddie Gregory was there. I took them out and I said, "Let's go have some chicken." And we went, I forget what the name of the place, but they sell good chicken. And I said, because we're eating all this chicken, we're all going to have knockouts tonight. And they were all laughing, and we all had knockouts. It was the funniest thing. They still remember this to this day.
Tell me the process and how you decided to turn pro and what went into that decision.
Well, I didn't know what I was going to do, because at the time I took all the city tests, sanitation, the fire department, the cops. And I took all the tests just to make sure, have something to fall back on. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to turn pro. I had no job. I did a little, little jobs here and there, but nothing really, real good jobs. So I said, let me turn pro and see how it goes. So I went with Vern DePaul. He had Chuchu Malave before me.
Yeah.
So I liked him, and we spoke, and I signed with him, and I stayed with him.
Is that when you went to the Gramercy? Is that when you started training at the Gramercy?
Yes.
So talk about that first, tell me about that whole experience there, before,
Like I say, the biggest thing that always stands out with me when I went to Gramercy was your father. because I think it was the first week I was there, and I was 145 pounds, 147. Your father was lightweight. Your father was a tremendous puncher. We got in the ring, and Patty Flood, I think he has Fern, maybe because they wanted somebody fast, quick, but he didn't. He took it easy, but him taking it easy to me wasn't easy because he had such power in his left hook. He was just tapping me. I was flying everywhere. I'll never forget that because it was like I was like, they gotta be kidding me. And then they put me in with Edwin Verrouet. And after I sparred with him, I said, I'm quitting. That's how good he was. I couldn't even hit him. I didn't touch your father either. I mean, I didn't even go near him. Like I was running. They wanted somebody fast for him.
Yeah.
They wanted somebody that could move, and I was quick. Yeah. But still, he still like gave me like a little shot there. He was looking to hurt me, but he had such power. And so when he go, then I sparred with Verrouet. But Verrouet was like I couldn't touch him, could not touch him. And I guess what the difference was, they were pros. Yeah. They weren't just, and they were very good pros. They were top in their field, top. He fought Duran, yeah. And your father was #1 light heavyweight in the world. Yeah. So, it was right at that moment there. I was like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah. Tell me about some of the other characters there, though, right? I mean, In and Out. I mean, and then Hampshire ends up coming there. Yeah. Or just even about like, Braverman and Flood and Al Gavin.
It was some group there. Then you had what he called Patty Flood. Then you had what's his name, Al Gavin. Yeah. Al Gavin was a nice guy. Jackson. Bob Jackson, was.
And was Braverman there still?
No. Okay. I think he was gone. But those guys were like, think about it now. It was like they were like legends in the game boxing. Yeah. Al Gavin. Who knew Al Gavin was the greatest cut man? Right. I didn't know that. Right. I never. Me and Louis laughed about that. Yeah. I said, did you know he was like that good of a cut man? And every big fight, he was in the corner. Yeah. Like way after we retired. Bob Jackson was he worked for Rikers.
Right.
Yeah. And a good guy, always what he called been around for a long time. Yeah. And then he went to Gleason's. Yeah.
They both ended up moving to Gleason's.
Yeah, right. And that was what we called Al Braverman. I met him, but he wasn't there when I was boxing.
Gotcha. Okay. And just what about the paint a picture of the gym? Like I remember those steps.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Paint a little picture of the Gramercy.
The Gramercy gym was one of those gyms like a real boxing gym. You could open the windows. They were stuck, all the windows. The first thing is what you said. The first thing was going up those steps. You can get up. If you made it up those steps, you're lucky. Those steps were all broken, cracking. And I'll never forget the first time Roseanne, she was working in Manhattan at the time. I think she was like 19, and she came there to see me. And she walks in, and then she's calling me over. So I go, whoa, everything all right? She goes, I'm going to throw up. She said, that smell. Now me, I didn't smell nothing. Right. We didn't smell anything. We were just used to it.
You're used to it, yeah.
And she goes, oh my God. She goes, those stairs. How many stairs are there? I was exhausted. It was funny. That's one of the things I remember about that when we first got there.
Did you ever spar much with Hampshire there?
Yeah, a lot.
Talk about Hampshire and sparring with him.
Hampshire, that's good because Patty Flood was Hampshire, yeah. And I'll never forget this because he was not the cleanest fighter. Right. Love the guy, great guy, but not So we were sparring. And when he sparred with you, he came after you like it was a real fight. Yeah. You're not just taking it easy. Yeah. He come after you, he's trying, and I was like throwing body shots because I know he didn't like the body. Yeah. So that's what I was doing, hitting him with a body, and then he was getting a little too crazy. He was hitting me with his elbow, and so Vern said something to Patty Flood, And Patty said, he's hurting him with those body shots. And Vern said, well, what is he supposed to do? He said, he's got to do something. The guy's hitting with everything. He's hitting with everything but the kitchen sink. He said, you know, his elbows, the head. He came into you, he's hitting with everything. I seen him years later in Seagate, outside of Seagate, sitting on the beach. And I didn't know it was him. I'm walking along the shore, and he's throwing little pebbles at me. I'm going, what is this guy, nuts? I went closer, and I went, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was hugging him. He hugged me. He looked so happy to see me.
Yeah. And just segueing from the Gramercy, because it's related to the Gramercy, that's how you got the part in Raging Bull?
Yes. What happened is I was fighting Frankie Benitez. That was my first pretty big fight, and I was really trained very hard for it. When I was running, you know, you want to win something really, really bad. You knew this was it. I was actually crying sometimes when I was running. That's how badly I wanted this fight win. So I trained so hard. And then when I got to the Garden that night, I'm in the dressing room with Vern, and Martin Scorsese, Robert DeNiro, and Joe Pesci. They're walking into the dressing room and just looking. They knew Vern. De Niro knew Vern. So he just was watching, looking. You know how De Niro is. He's like, he wants to be him.
Yeah.
He's just a great actor. So they're looking, and finally walked out. And then I heard Vern says to me, they're making a movie about Jake LaMotta. So I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, they might give you a part in the movie. So I go out to fight Frankie, and I'm winning the fight. I don't know if you remember this, but the 7th round, he called me a left hook. He had me out, but I got through the round. They told him to come right after me in the 8th round. But I was in such good shape that I was ready. It was like the first round. Yeah. He came in, bam, knocked him dead. A great ending. Yeah. And my friends, everybody told me De Niro was going nuts.
Oh, wow.
Jumping on, going great, because the ending was great. Yeah. And he came in the ring with the Puerto Rican flag. You know how the Garden was. Yeah. You had the Puerto Ricans, the Italians, the Irish, you had everybody. And he came in the ring with the Puerto Rican flag, and that's how I ended it with the Brooklyn flag. I wish everybody loved that too. Yeah. They loved it. They loved the ending.
So how was it? What was it like working with them?
A lot of fun. Like I say, I tell everybody that De Niro wasn't like that. Very quiet guy. I mean, he didn't say nothing. He was very quiet. Didn't talk too much at all. Yeah. And to get a conversation going with him, really, it was hard. But nice guy. Got along with Martin Scorsese. Yeah. Joe Pesci had a little bit like tough guy attitude. We didn't know who he was. We didn't know you know him.
Right.
So we didn't know how good he was as an actor. Yeah. He was acting like an idiot because he had Kathy Moriarty. He got Kathy into the movie.
Oh, okay.
He got her the part.
Right. Okay.
So that's why he acted like that, because we were like, she was sitting right next to us. And my brother had a club up in Hunter Mountain, Animal Crackers. It was a disco, and she used to go there.
Oh, wow.
And she goes, we like to go out dancing, let's go out. So I think it was bothering him. He didn't like that.
Okay.
He didn't like everybody talking to him.
Right. And what about the actual scenes with De Niro in the ring? Like how often did you spar with him?
I got in the ring the first time.
Yeah.
He started coming after me, like throwing punches. I didn't know. I thought we weren't going to throw punches.
Yes.
We were throwing punches at each other. Now, already got to remember, he already seen about 3 of my fights, 2 or 3 of my fights already in the Garden, and they were knockouts. So what do you call it? Now we get in the ring for the first time. They want to see how we look together. He's throwing punches at me, right? So I just duck down, give him a little shot to the ribs. Down he goes. The old jump in the ring. Scorsese, Joe Pesci, this guy by Pete Savage. He wrote the book. Yeah. He goes, what are you, a wise guy? So I said, I was just protecting myself. He goes, De Niro chased everybody in the ring, and he said, come on, let's go. And I made him look like a champ. I didn't touch him. Yeah. I made him look good. Yeah. And then he told me later on, in the dressing room, he says to me, it wasn't your fault. I was nervous. I said, why did they have us spar? Yeah. That was the last time we ever did that.
Yeah.
Everything else is rocky. Blood coming down, like, the blood popping out of my face. Remember the mouthpiece?
Yeah.
That we did that without him. He wasn't even there.
Right.
So my friend did it, Kevin Mann.
Yeah. I've interviewed Kevin.
He pretty no more.
Yeah.
And he was throwing the punch, and I would just throw it out with the blood. They liked me a lot because I was like, they wanted me to be. They couldn't believe the way I went down when I got hit, and my whole body just the way I would. They said you should be a stuntman. They wanted me to stay there. I could have stayed, but I'm not. I said I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
And plus, at that time, I'm 5th in the world.
Right.
I'm next to fight Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
Which I think about it now. I still think about it. Like, what a mistake that was when I fought Valdez.
Yeah.
I didn't need that fight.
Right.
All I got to do is sit back and wait.
Yeah.
They gave it to Davey Boy Green.
Mm-hmm.
That was number 10th in the world.
Yeah.
They wanted a white guy.
Yeah.
It would have been me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would have beat him.
Right.
I just want to say I fought him,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see how far I would have went.
Yeah.
But I found out that he turned it down for him because he felt we weren't getting enough money.
Wow.
He was offered to fight 3 times. I got it in the paper, the article, 3 times, and he turned it down. He said the money.
Yeah.
He was getting so much more money. Who cares? Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
I want to say I fought him.
Yeah. What fight are you most proud of? What do you think when you look back at your career? What fight? What win are you most proud of?
I fought this guy, Alfonso Hayman. He went 10 rounds with Hearns. I'm pretty sure I fought him. That was the next fight after that, because he said they asked him, they were interviewing him, and he said, who's Johnny Turner? He says, I just went 10 rounds with Tommy Hearns. So the guy says to me from the newspaper, says he wants to know who you are. So I'm not saying I'm good at this, but for some reason I came in with a great comeback. I said, he'll know who I am tonight. And I knocked him out.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think I was, because everybody was shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to knock him out, but I was in my prime.
Yeah.
Felt like $1 million physically and mentally. That's when I would love to get in the ring with the Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I just wanted. When I did fight Benitez, we were supposed to fight 6 months before that.
Yeah.
They called me in California to come back to fight Benitez. And I told him, I said, I thought him and Sugar Ray already signed. He said, yes, you're his tune-up before Sugar Ray. So now when he called, I come back. They want me to have one fight. I fought Danny McAloon.
Yeah.
Stop him in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then I go back into training. And then all of a sudden, we get a phone call. Well, no. Yeah, if they seen me knock out McAloon, I think they got a little nervous. Then I was in all the gym sparring. But I always seen people from his camp watching.
Right.
And I think they got nervous. And they said they got a phone call after 2 weeks before the fight that he can't fight. He hurt his shoulder. I think that night in the garden, they're lucky they pulled out. Because in the garden that night, I think he would have had a problem. Then when I finally fought him, and I should listen to Angelo Dundee, he said to me, Turner, pull out. He goes, they're pulling a fast one. They're making a weigh-in 3 days before the fight. He's going to come in the ring, not strong, because he couldn't make the weight. It was 150. So he comes in, which I should have pulled out, but I need the money.
Yeah.
So I fought him, and Fern said to me, he said, you had nothing in the ring, and nothing in the dressing room. You had nothing, you had in the pads, you had nothing.
Right.
And
really?
I felt that way too.
Right.
So I got, but in my head, he's not knocking me out.
Right.
Which he didn't. I got stopped on cuts.
Yeah. Talk to me about the feeling of fighting in Madison Square Garden. What's that like?
Oh, it's like nothing like it. When you walk through that tunnel, and when I walked through that tunnel in the finals, 1973, there was not a seat in the garden. So when I walked through the chill, and people are yelling, and there's not a seat in the garden, I felt so unbelievable, like chills. I was getting chill. And just a great feeling. Amazing. Nothing like the garden. And like you said, the old saying was, you didn't make it till you fight in the garden. It was a great feeling. It was, I had some great wins. You know, and if it felt for him too. That was exciting too. It felt for him, but nothing like the God.
But Patrick Maloney, he was like 14-1 when you fought him.
Yeah,
Was he?
yeah, it was in the Garden.
Yeah.
Good, tough Irish kid from Yorkville, by Patty Flood. No,
Yeah.
Patty knew him. Yeah, Patty knew him.
Yeah.
It was really a tough Irish guys came from there,
Yeah.
New York, and he he was trained at Gleason's. They said he was sparring with Benitez. They said he was a great fighter. Yeah. But I was, like I say, at that time I felt I could beat anybody. Yeah. I felt it, and that's the way you're supposed to be, and mentally and physically. Yeah. And I stopped him. I think the 7th round. Okay. Stopped in the 7th round. Yeah. And then when I fought McAloon. Yeah. McAloon was the McAloon. I mean, I'll tell anybody. I don't make a big thing because I knocked out McAloon. He wasn't. He was past his prime. Yeah. He wasn't. I mean, I don't know about maybe it would have been about a different fight, of course. Yeah. It was the old. He fought Emil Griffith. Right. He fought. When I looked at some of the things he fought, I went, wow. I was like, he was me. I don't think he liked me either. Really? Oh, I don't think so. I think because I think about it, I was very shy, didn't talk a lot, and people took it the wrong way. Okay. Maybe because I thought who I was, so I wasn't like that, but I was just very the way I grew up. Yeah. I didn't grow up. I grew up with I was the baby of 7 kids. Never talked when I was young, and then and I gotta say, boxing brought me out of my shell, and I became a different person.
Johnny Turner, ranked 5th by the WBC in the welterweight rankings.
Is there any other fight, John, that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about?
At the end of my career, like I just didn't have it no more. I didn't want to fight no more. Yeah. I lost the desire, and I don't even remember his name, but I lost a couple of fights at the end. And that I say I didn't want to fight no more. Yeah. I did it for this. Yeah. I remember one fight there. I was I had my daughter Danielle. She's 41 years old now, but Danielle was a baby, and we went for my last fight in Scranton, and nobody showed up. It was almost like a movie, a depressing movie. You sit there by yourself, and nobody shows up to be your corner. And think I had a pretty good career. I was up there one time. Everybody wanted to know you, be your friend. Yeah. Everybody wanted, what do you know how the boxing is? That girl there? Yeah. I can cry. She always, no matter what, up and down, she was always there for me, always. She was the best. And she was there for the good times. We had good times. I introduced her to DeNiro, Studio 54. I took her. We had good times, but when it got bad and we got rough and I had no time, couldn't box no more, she said, we'll be all right, don't worry about it. And let me tell you something, the girl's, I think she was 19 years old. And she said, don't worry, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. And we had 3 grandchildren. We did very well together. We worked, we never get rich, but we're rich in life.
Watch your step. Watch your step.
Yeah, he had me here crying now. I was crying.
He got very emotional.
My
I was
honey.
telling how, what do you call it?
He's been my honey since I'm 17. It's crazy how time goes by.
Yeah, and he said that there was some very, he said you were there for the good times and the bad times.
Yes.
And you stuck with him.
Always stuck with me, no matter what. You said to me, don't worry, we'll be okay.
Yeah, somehow we always made it work.
We always made it work.
That's right.
You
gotta be in it together. That's really the truth of it. And I tell that to my kids all the time. It's communication, and you have to be in it together. It's going to be great times. You're going to really enjoy those great times, but there's going to be some bad times too. Both of us almost died in 1 year together. Really? He had bleeding ulcer that he was dragging himself to the floor.
I'm crawling out of my bed, and she goes, "Why are you crawling?" She was like, "I can't walk. Up to a week, I lost too much blood."
He had no idea that he was bleeding internally.
They got me to the hospital. They said he's lucky
6
to be
blood
alive.
transfusions. A couple of months after that, I had an ovarian cyst that burst.
Burst.
And I went into like shock. I almost died.
Oh, man.
So we both had like that 1 year that was like really crazy.
What do they say when you
know?
get married? Death.
No, for better or worse.
Better for worse. no, there is.
Is there way?
Better or
Until
Death do us part. That's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Yes. He goes, I remember.
not the right way.
Well, you do remember it. So
I do
that's the good part. So you really do have to work hard together. There's always a lot of crazy things.